You're listening to the Keep It Real podcast with Zach Phelan, where we talk everything real estate, real business, and real life. My name is Zach Phelan, and I'm a real estate investor, realtor, entrepreneur, and family man. This podcast is brought to you by Home Scout. Home Scout shows you every home listed on the market in real time, meaning if a home you're looking at goes under contract with another buyer, you will see it in real time. You can track homes that have sold, save favorite homes, get notified when a home hits the market in a neighborhood you're watching, and so much more. The best thing about Home Scout is your information is 100% secure. The only people who can see your phone number and email is yours truly, Zach Phelan, and my lender, Jenna Groff. Most people don't know this, but other apps and platforms sell your information to at least 3 realtors and 7 lenders. That's 10 phone calls and multiple emails from 10 different people. Keep your information safe in our hands. We promise not to abuse it. Download the Home Scout app now. The link is below in the show notes, or email me and I will send you a direct link. If prompted for a VIP code, use my phone number 928-853-0683. Go download the Home Scout app now and start searching for that new home today. Podcast number 15 right here with Nick from Dark Sky Brewery. We're going to do a little talking. He's got a 4th anniversary for Dark Sky coming up this weekend. So you guys are here in Flagstaff, go down there. They also just teamed up with a pizza joint that we're going to talk about here. And we're going to talk about a little bit about podcasting and, kind of go through some of the stuff here. So thanks for checking in. Thanks for following us. And let's get into it a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell them a little bit, since I was just talking to Facebook.
Okay.
Tell them a little bit about this weekend, what we got coming up.
This weekend is, like you said, our 4th anniversary. We started in May of 2015. And so if you guys see this before this coming Friday, May the 3rd, then definitely make plans to come down. It's going to be a packed house. We're going to be having a blast. Going to be a Kentucky Derby style theme.
Nice.
So grab a big hat, a giant hat, which we were kind of worried about at first. A giant crowd with all big hats might be a little rough, but we're gonna have bottle releases, raffles and packed house. We got the food from Pizza Coletta, which we'll talk about. But this Friday, come on down. It's first Friday and summer's starting, so first Fridays in summer are always a jam-packed downtown crazy.
It's
time.
fun. It's fun.
Yeah,
the weather's perfect. It's gonna be like 70 degrees.
Oh,
so if you're in Phoenix, come on up.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, it's so hot down there. Getting. You're moving into that Flagstaff time. Come on up this weekend. Yeah, join us.
Nice. So kind of a little good timing. We're me and Nick were talking before I even started the podcast. I got to thank you because I talked to you a little bit and you answered my emails and all that good stuff. And I was like, hey, I'm getting ready to start. And you're like, good for you. And we went back and forth a few times and said, once I got up and running, let's do one. We'll co-collaborate and now this worked out just perfect for, you guys' 4th anniversary. So
yeah, good timing.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, perfect timing. So give us a little background about you.
So I grew up not in Arizona, out of state, but came here in 2000 and absolutely fell in love with Arizona, with the diversity that this state has. And came up to Flagstaff. I'm an NAU graduate,
Nice.
So I finished school at NAU. And then got a teaching degree from NAU and biology degree. Wanted to be a teacher, became a teacher.
Yeah.
Not just wanted to be a teacher, I became a teacher. And got a job down in the valley for 5 years. Taught down high school biology and environmental science down there. Missed Flagstaff immediately. And so would come up here every weekend and, just enjoy Flagstaff. And I always knew that I would be back sometime. So 5 years later, finally made the move, got back up here, got a teaching job here, taught at a high school here for about 4 years. And that last year I was overlapping a little bit with starting the brewery. And so I don't know if you want me to go into the brewery start.
Absolutely.
That's a segue.
Yeah, absolutely. Like why brewery? How did you get into the brewery? Yeah, go ahead.
So while I've always been into beer, always loved beer. I got into craft beer and just, never looked back.
Mm-hmm.
And so being a science teacher and a biology teacher, there was always something about the process of creating beer and fermentation in general that I loved.
Mm-hmm.
I would teach fermentation to my students. In a certain chapter, we'd talk about anaerobic fermentation that some organisms go through. And so we'd talk about root beer for sure. And we made some root beer in class, but I'd also mention about alcoholic beverages. So one Father's Day, I decided to get a homebrew kit. Yeah. And I was going to brew with my dad and be like, son of the year, we brew beer together. Awesome. That kit actually sat in the garage for, I think, over a year, not being used. We just never got to it. Mm-hmm. And so eventually I saw it again one day, pulled it out, looked at all it seemed crazy at that point, brewing beer in this process of home brewing. Now, I mean, it's in the, snap of a finger, I can tell you every single part of it, but overwhelmed, but did my first batch, created my first batch, and it was awful. It was terrible. It was an IPA, and it tasted good enough that I finished it, but it wasn't something I was handing out.
How much are we drinking here?
So it was a 5-gallon batch, probably about 4 gallons total, like after everything's said and done. So there's probably some wounded soldiers left over. Yeah. So my first batch by myself was pretty awful, but then it got better. And so I had a buddy, Casey, who started brewing with me pretty immediately. And so we'd brew every once in a while, maybe once every couple of months. And then I met Ryan Sandlin, and he was really interested in home brewing. And so when he joined us, that's when things really turned. And we started brewing all the time, just messing around with ingredients, getting creative on it, and brewing, almost maybe not once a week, but seemed like it.
Yeah, all the time. Bunch of batches just going.
Yeah, we'd start one batch. I think at one point, we had 3 carboys total going, which is where the things are fermenting. And so kind of rotating where one would be finished, we'd bottle and then fill up another one and keep that going. And it started off in either my kitchen or Casey's kitchen. Then we grew a little bit, got the turkey fryer, which is kind of the next step. Started brewing in the garage. And then had that conversation that every home brewer has around a fire someday saying, we should start a brewery. Yeah. Because people started liking it. We started liking it better, getting better and better at it. And the 2 things that happened around that fire when we had that discussion, number one, no one eventually ended up saying stop. Like we just kept going.
Kept talking.
Yeah. Like just next day, what are we talking about? Next day, what are we talking about? And number 2, what was really, really important to starting the brewery was the team that we had together, the people and all the parts, because you can make the best beer in the entire world and still not be successful at starting a brewery because it is a business.
Absolutely.
And so we needed all those parts. And so we had me with the home brewing and the science part of it. Yeah. We had Ryan, who had been in construction and contracting. His wife, Laramie, him and Laramie had started a business already together. And so she had the business side with all the paperwork and loans and all that kind of stuff together. And then Jeff, another one of our partners, is an engineer. And so he built actually a bunch of everything you see in the brewery and some of our equipment, like our keg cleaner that we still use today 4 years later is from him. He built himself. And so those little pieces of the puzzle that fit together so nicely is something that really helped us to gain at least enough momentum to get where we are today.
Yeah, you hear about that all the time. And, I own a mobile home park and I have this partner and he is fantastic at everything that he does, which is the complete opposite of me, and we just fell together and kind of just like merged. There was it just happened, just like you were talking, and we just kept talking and we kept talking and we kept talking and kept going forward, and it never stopped, and we're still doing it today.
Nice.
And I see where you're coming from, and as you were talking and laying it all out there, I'm like, yeah, we got the biology background right here. You get the whole thing and kind of put it all together. And we were talking before we just started this was, it's a business. We run a business, and podcasting in itself, I want to get into that, is a business, and using it to promote your business, and to take the time and the commitment, and where's it at in your priority list. It's a real thing. Yeah,
absolutely. That's cool to hear that. Yeah, you totally get that the puzzle pieces coming together and having that opposites don't just attract, they actually create, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So I get a lot of people asking me about podcasting. So I went and Googled you. Boom, you're the first person in Flagstaff podcast. Yeah. And I was like, that's awesome. Nice. But you've been doing it for a while. So what made you want to start a podcast, and kind of how did you guys do it? You do well. Plug your podcast. What is it? Tell everybody, and then kind of how did you get into doing it?
Yeah, the current podcast for Dark Sky Brewing Company is called The Brew Trails, and it is a combination. Just the name Brew Trails. It's beer and the brewing industry, but also outdoor adventures. That's where we started as a brewery. Actually, our first name wasn't Dark Sky. It was Trailhead Brewing Company. And
nice.
so, because Ryan is a big downhill mountain biker, I rock climb and trail run. Our other partners, we're into outdoor adventure and stuff. I mean, we live in Flagstaff.
We live in Flagstaff. Yeah. We're getting outdoors.
Exactly. So we were Trailhead Brewing Company. I still have a pint glass with our logo on it. It says
nice.
Trailhead. Where was Brew Trail. So we enjoy beer and we also enjoy the outdoors. And so that podcast really started just as a creative outlet for me. I need creative outlets. I love to write. I love to produce. I love to video. I've been doing videos since I was a tiny little kid.
That's
we had
awesome.
A video camera, and I remember doing stop-start animation with Ninja Turtle figures, like hitting record, moving their arm, hitting record, moving their arm, kind of stuff, like way back, and actually put that video to Vanilla Ice. Anyway, I really wish I still had that video. So I've always loved to be creative in that. My first major in college that I didn't go through with, but my first attempt was in film. I wanted to be either a director or a cinematographer. So anyway, Brew Trails is a creative outlet for me. And I've always loved podcasts from the beginning. In fact, I had a podcast before the Brew Trails called Everything Flag. So Everything Flagstaff. And I would just be promoting all the events in Flagstaff that were going on for that week or so. And then I would have a business owner to talk. And I only had 2 episodes where I think 3 episodes total before I started a brewery and got busy. But I had business owners on.
Yeah.
And so, so Brew Trails right now is the Dark Sky Brewing Company one. I've been doing it for a long time, like you said, but I haven't done a whole lot of episodes. I think there's like 22 episodes. But they're good episodes. I'm proud of them. You can actually learn, I think, a lot from them.
Yeah.
Everything from what barrel aging a beer can do to gluten-reduced beers. We use an enzyme, the same one that Omission Brewing. A lot of people who have issues with gluten know Omission. And so I have a whole episode where I talk to one of the founders and the head brewer of Omission. I talk to a girl who's super allergic to gluten and just go through all that. So even though I don't have a lot of episodes, you can go in there and learn a lot about either brewing or my weird, crazy life outdoors. So.
Well, we're in Flagstaff. We all have some sort of outdoor, I love it.
Yeah, you should.
I try to spend as much time outdoors as I do indoors, and it doesn't really work, but I try.
Good. Keep it tempting. Well, you can see I've got a little sunburn here.
Yeah,
I was outdoors this weekend. Always trying to get
nice. Yeah, I
there.
took Sebastian fishing this weekend, and it was a blast. And
where'd you go?
We just went to the duck pond because it's right behind our house. And
oh, cool.
We slayed a bunch of fish.
Yeah.
my buddy's got a little honey hole over there. Mason, shout out to Mason. Oh. And we caught like 25 fish in like 2 hours.
Really?
Like maybe 2.5 hours. Yeah, we caught a lot of fish.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sebastian got to reel in like 6 of them, and then he got all tired and took off. But that's just one little piece of Flagstaff. That's the easy fishing, and you get to go down to Oak Creek, and I go fish to Tonto and go on backpacking trips. And
oh, nice.
In your podcast that you were talking about, like Flagstaff, Flagstaff stuff. Me and Sammy are working towards that, like as part of the business and growing a business. Like, why do people come to Flagstaff and just sharing and doing it? And my brothers were up this last weekend rock climbing down off Lake Mary Road, and I took a quick video and just shot this is part of why people come to Flagstaff.
I actually saw that one. Yeah,
did you?
That was a very cute video.
yeah. Thor and Lexi kissing, but
yep. If you haven't seen it, it's almost kind of like Spider-Man-ish, where like she's
hanging upside down.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And I know that area, the draw. Very very well priest draw. And you're right. Why if you're gonna start a business in a town, you need to love that town.
Absolutely.
Or you do love that town. That's why you start a business there. And so that's a great connection to ask people why they love Flagstaff. Not only like, how are you successful as a business? I think people in other cities might be different, like say New York City or something. You're like, the only way I can be as successful as I want to be is if I'm in New York City, even if you don't like New York City. Yeah. But Flagstaff, if you're going to start a business and like put your roots in, you got to love this town.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, and I've recently really got into hunting. Some people like it, some people don't like it, but I grew up hunting. We go backpacking and camping with the family, the real backpacking and then like the glamping, all that kind of stuff. We go skiing, there's just so much different stuff to do, and that's why we're here in Flagstaff.
That's absolutely why we're here. Yeah. It's a good hub too. You can draw like a 5-hour circle around Flagstaff
and get to crazy places. Lake Powell, Grand Canyon.
Yep. Yeah, you can hit up in the San Juans like Durango and Silverton and all those areas.
Yeah, you can be there. It is a great spot. So we're going off on tangent, which is great. This is what we're here for. But people, once I started my podcast, people came out of the woodworks and was like, I want to do a podcast too. I want to get into podcasting. Nice. Can I be on your podcast? Which is great. I'm like, yeah, come on, let's go. And then I had a couple of people like, how do you do it? How did you get into podcasts? So we have ours on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify, I think. So we're kind of covering Android and iTunes,
nice.
Apple devices there, I guess. We record it. We put it up on YouTube. That's one of the things that I wanted to do too, just some more content. And then we also do the Facebook Lives. But, we did it kind of on a little bit of a budget. I think each one of these mics, the full setup and the boom piece and blah, blah, was, only $30-$40. Oh, nice. I don't know. And then we recorded on the laptop straight to GarageBand. And the audio quality is pretty darn good. We're not fully there yet, but I get a lot of people ask me like how to do it. And you told me you do it off your phone too. So
yeah, sometimes I have a microphone. Sometimes it's just on my phone.
Yeah. So like, and people ask me like, how do you do it? I'm like, you just go do it,
Exactly. Yeah. Content is king. And so, yeah, some of my best episodes are on a phone. I mean, I definitely would not say like, just have that your be all, because there's an episode that I had to almost pretty much scrap because of the wind and
couldn't hear.
It was totally fine. Yeah. Your setup is awesome. I'm super jealous of this. I just have like this snowball mic if I do a microphone.
Well, I'll show you, dude. This is an easy thing right off of Amazon. It'll be here in 2 days.
I would love to see that. Yeah. But you're right. People asking about podcasts. If you're listening to this and you think you have, something you want to just sit down and talk about, yeah, you can do it on your phone. Just hit record on any kind of audio recording app and email it to yourself or whatever. You use GarageBand?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I use Audacity. I'm sure it's like very, very similar.
Pretty similar.
Yeah, and really easy and intuitive and kind of fun a lot of times. Sometimes post-production, I was saying earlier, can be crazy if you really dig in and want to make everything all perfect, which you shouldn't. I don't suggest that.
No.
Start it. Do it. Everyone out there listening, if you want to, just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Get a couple episodes in. Just talk. Just hang out. You'll find your audience, and you'll be good. And if you don't, then you don't.
You don't. But same thing. That GarageBand's pretty easy to edit on. You can chop and paste and take people out and all that type of fun stuff. I mean, Samantha's really good at it. Even I was watching a YouTube video with her. It's like I could probably even figure this out. But she's really good at that. So, I mean, yeah, that's it. People just start it, just go do it, and try it out.
Yeah,
you'll find your audience.
I think. I mean, you can be as easy as I think. And I'm not plugging anyone. I'm not sponsored by any kind of podcast or anything like that. But Podbean, I think through their app, you can actually just straight up record on your phone and it'll be downloaded and you're done.
Wow.
You don't need to do anything.
Podbean, never even heard of it.
Yeah, Podbean, Podbean. That's what we're on.
Nice. Well, check it out, people. Check it out. So a little bit more like Flagstaff stuff. Marketing. This obviously we're doing a form of marketing here, but to get the brewery up and running, what did you guys do?
As far as getting it up and going and getting the word out, we failed. I mean, we failed in our crowdfunding.
Okay.
Or crowdsourcing? No, crowdfunding. Right.
Yep.
So there's Indiegogo, which was a separate one from what everyone knows. The what's the crowdfunding?
Yeah, the main one out there. You get some money all together.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Oh my gosh, brain fart. But Indiegogo we used. I made this video that I thought was great, and we explained what we want to do in this town and the beers we want to make and all that. And we'll give you like a T-shirt, a pint glass with a logo if you do all these different levels of contribution. I think we made like $300. So something fell through on that one. I don't know if it was. I don't know, just didn't reach enough people or didn't know it yet. So marketing to get our name out there in the beginning was not, we didn't do a super great job. I would say you have to hit that pretty hard. because we were still a year in, and people who lived in this town didn't know who we were. They'd be like, "Oh, I didn't even know this place was here." And so, yeah, I think we were focused more on the beer and the quality and the space, like designing the space. And I think that part of it was our main marketing, was people coming in, enjoying their experience, and going and telling others. Word of mouth is great.
You just hit it, word of mouth.
Yeah. Yes. When you're creating an experience, I think the best thing that can happen is a person being stoked on being there and telling the next person. You can make a video saying, "Look how awesome this is. Come and have a great time and do that." And that's great. But if a friend tells you that,
then you're going personally,
then
you're going to
experience it.
So I've interviewed a few people now in town. It's all the same thing, word of mouth. Well, not the same thing, but I don't know if you ever read that book, Raving Fans, but to create that experience, which you were just talking about, and to someone to turn around and text my buddy who I knew is going to love this thing and be like, "Dude, Jess, you got to come into Dark Sky Brewery. Connor, you got to come in Dark Sky Brewery." And they come in and they check it out. And now they get some pizza in there, and it's like, this is great. It's light pizza, and I can drink my beer still, and I'm not super full of stuff as I'm leaving out of here. But it's the word of mouth, because Flagstaff is still that smaller knit community where we know people, we talk. That's the kind of thing that that's how it goes. And those take a little bit of time to get up and running, but now you're up and cruising.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. The word of mouth is great in this town.
Over and again, it's been the genuine, real person connection, that quality experience, that kind of stuff. And I do the same thing with my clients. I try to make the home buying process as smooth and as easy as possible, and I'm there to make it as stress-free as really possible. Same thing with selling a house. We go through extra lengths to make it better, so someone can go, "Hey, actually, you do got to call Zach." I made one of my friends last year put me on like his top 10 list of things that happened in 2018. Oh, yeah. And I was like, yes, that's what we're trying to do here, and just make it smooth and awesome and easy. And then that word of mouth kind of, takes its traction and goes.
Yep.
So that's about pretty much what, that's a lot of it people have been telling me.
Cool.
One more time. This weekend is the anniversary for 4 years. And then tell us more about the pizza.
Oh, yeah. So a huge part of what just happened at Dark Sky, if you've been in the last about 2 months, you've either seen the build-out process or the finished product of Pizza Coletta. We've got Pizza Coletta in-house, not just, like delivering to our place, but actually there. There's a pizza restaurant within the brewery now. We're blown away. We love Caleb and what he started here in this town. He went to Italy on a bike tour, ended up coming back and wanting to start a pizza business with the pizza that he experienced in Italy, and bought an oven from Italy, had it shipped. And so that's their original location. They have this Italian, beautiful, almost kind of piece of artwork oven there. And now him and his partner James wanted to expand, and they've been waiting to find what they really, really wanted. And we've always had a good relationship with them. And he's a big outdoors guy too.
Yeah.
Running, he's a big runner now. He used to be a huge biker. I think he still bikes. And James is a big biker, mountain biker, not like Harley.
Yeah.
And so they're waiting, kind of tossed some ideas around, and then came to us, and they couldn't even get it out of their mouth before we were like, yes. Hey, do you guys want to? Absolutely.
Yeah. Bring it on.
Yes, we do. Because we just love what they've done. This local business, hardworking, amazing product. If you are in Flagstaff or you're coming to visit Flagstaff and you haven't had Pizza Coletta, and I'm not just saying this, it sounds like I'm just saying this because I want you to come to my brewery, but even if you go to just their location over on the south side of the tracks, you've got to go try their pizza. It is quality. It's simple in its ingredients and its production, but it's a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
So anyway, they wanted to come and join us, and so we squeezed our brewing facility in nice and tight. We used to have, I would say we had too much room.
Yeah.
And we were going to be buying new tanks, getting more and expanding that, but this seemed like the better fit for right now.
Yeah.
So instead of doing that, we squeezed the brewery space, gave them a good amount of space inside the brewery. He bought another oven from Italy. This thing is gorgeous.
It looks amazing. You showed me that picture on Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Candy apple red, broken tile around the outside, I think I'm just gonna say this. I think it's prettier than the one they have at their other place. It's gorgeous. They got this giant slicer to slice their meats, and it's candy apple red too, and matches that.
Sweet.
And just what they did, how Caleb and James built out this place, and actually a huge part of it was Ryan, my partner, Ryan and Laramie. And then our guy Tim, who's our do everything guy at our brewery. They put in, I don't know, more than 24 hours a day. I know that's not possible, but like building with Caleb and James to create this beautiful spot. So I don't know. You got me excited now talking.
That is so cool.
90 miles an hour, but it is gorgeous. You walk in and you just see them tossing the pizza dough and like prepping all the stuff. Like maybe they're getting the mozzarella like set up and all. So I'm excited.
I'm excited. Well, me and Sammy unfortunately got to go to Phoenix this weekend, but I'm probably going in there tomorrow or today.
Yeah, sweet.
At least check it out and see it.
They serve dinner only right now. We're pushing, and they want to serve lunch as soon as they feel like they're set in staffing and execution. But right now it's 5 to 9:30, so they start serving at 5 p.m.
Cool.
And then we close at 10, so they'll break down a little bit early.
Yeah.
Come in for dinner. The pizza is amazing. They have also got small bites, so if you don't want a full pizza, they've got one of my favorite items is these warm, kind of spicy olives, and they're not anything there are people who do not like olives, but they taste these. They're different. They're just totally different. The way that they prepare them. They've got focaccia bread, appetizer kind of thing, small bites. So
small bites. All right, I'm going in there to try it out now. We'll get a whole smorgasbord of everything.
Yeah, do it all.
Yeah.
And then the pizza I really like is the bee's knees. I just want to plug the bee's knees.
The bee's knees, that's your pizza?
Delicious. Yeah. Not vegetarian, it's got sausage, but they do have vegetarian and vegan options.
Nice.
So,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's a local business, Flagstaff, expanding into our place that we love. You guys should support them. Like I said, I don't care even if you go south of the tracks and don't. I mean, I'd rather you come to the brewery, but
get some good beers. So you were telling me before you came in here, you're just bottling some beers.
Yeah. This morning, well, all week last week we've been bottling. So every anniversary we bottle barrel aged beers. So we've got a pretty good barrel program going, and we did right off the bat. That's something we really wanted to do initially, is build a barrel aging program. So if you don't know, beer can be aged in barrels. It's funny. I don't feel like anyone doesn't know this, but obviously they don't. You take a barrel that you think of like a wine barrel or a whiskey barrel, and you put beer in it to age, and it picks up some of those nuances, those flavors. And we absolutely love throwing stouts in the whiskey barrels and sours in the wine barrels.
Sours.
Yeah.
My brothers introduced me to sours. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah. In a good way?
In a good way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's very polarizing.
Yeah.
Some people will take a sip and they'll be like, oh, this is cool, and they'll like become addicted, and that's almost all they drink. And other people will be like, nope,
yeah,
that is not for me. I have instant heartburn. I don't like this. And that's cool. But yeah, sours. So sours are a huge. It's really a comeback. It's not a new style.
Yeah.
It's kind of new to our country. Okay. But everything before you were able to buy actual yeast from a lab was open fermentation, and so the bacteria and the yeast that was in the air was what went in there, and a lot of times it was lactobacillus, which creates lactic acid, which sours the beer. So when you think about Belgium and these like traditional German beers, they were slightly tart and sour beers. So some breweries have gone overboard and made these things so sour you can like hear the sizzle of enamel on your teeth. But,
oh my gosh.
But I feel like we've kind of pulled back from that as a brewing society and now found a balance. But yeah, we have almost always have a sour. We actually don't have a sour on tap right now. Almost always have a sour on tap.
Nice. So this might be a hard question for you, but what is your favorite beer?
Overall or from Dark Sky or anywhere?
Anywhere. What's your favorite beer?
I will go outside of Dark Sky. I'll give you two. I'll give you my favorite of us.
There you go.
But outside of Dark Sky Brewing Company, I would say, and outside of our town, because I love a lot of the beers that we do that the other breweries here do. But Short's Brewing Company in Michigan makes a spruce, basically a spruce tip beer that is it's like drinking a pine tree. And I know everyone out there listening is or drinking a spruce tree. People out there are saying that sounds disgusting, but I just love the freshness of that, a summer beer, and it's the intensity. I like intense things. I like Scotch for whiskey. The peatier the better. Like punch you in the face on that. I like huge flavors in beers and food, and so that one I'd say their spruce tip beer from Short's Brewing in Michigan comes to mind.
Cool.
For us, it would be something that we haven't done actually in a while, but a jalapeno pale ale. Well, I guess that fits right in there with the strong flavors.
Yeah, it does.
This beer, though, I was talking about Tim before. He's our kind of fix-it-all, do-it-all electrician guy. He also has land in parks, so he has all these pigs and chickens and stuff. He takes our grain and feeds it to them, all of our leftover spent grain. But he also grows peppers. He grows jalapenos.
Yeah.
And there's something about his jalapenos. That's why we haven't done it in a long time, because we're not going to just go to the store and just buy
grab jalapenos. You got to get the ones.
Get his.
Yes.
Yeah. And this beer is not... Some batches can be pretty spicy, but mostly it's the flavor. It's not the spice.
Oh, I love jalapenos.
So, yeah.
I love the spice. Sometimes you get one of those and you're just like, oh my God. But I just love the spice, and it is good.
Yeah. So next time we have that on, you gotta try that.
Gotta message me. I'll come on in.
Will do.
Get some pizza and get that.
You gotta beat a lot of people. A lot of people would say their favorite beer from us is the jalapeno pale ale.
Cool.
Yeah. And it's called Highline Jalapeno. Highline is a trail in Sedona, and we were naming all of our initial beers after trails and stuff because we were gonna be trailhead.
Yeah.
So Highline, if you know that trail in Sedona, it's awesome. If you don't, go either ride it or hike it or run it. Nice. But yeah, jalapeno pale ale, probably one of my favorites.
Okay, this is like the Flagstaff part. We've been in it the whole time, and people freaking love the Flagstaff stuff. But what is your favorite restaurant in town? And you can't say Pizzaletta.
Yeah. So if I can't say Pizzaletta, then I'm gonna say Sosaba. I think the Noodle House. Yeah,
that's good.
That's one of my always goes-tos. Either that or Annex. Or Tourist Home. Or Macmillan. Yep. I don't know. Flagstaff has such amazing food.
It's come a long way.
Oh, it's so hard. Yeah, you've been here to see, probably a lot of the changes. And I always get offended when people from other places, other cities in this state say Flagstaff has terrible food options. We don't. We have amazing food options. Go get a breakfast burrito from Tourist Home.
And not tell me that it rocks your world.
Get a burger on Monday burger nights at Annex.
Yeah.
One of, if not the best burgers in town. Sosaba, like I just said, they have this ramen dish called Mic Drop that is just amazing. So if I have to pick one, I'll say Sosaba.
Nice. That's a good one. We're big, me and Samantha are big Mexican fans. We eat Mexican all the time. So we'll hit all the joints around there. But I do like going down there and getting some Sosaba. Yeah. That broth, so good. You just like drink it down. Like, this is fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's one of the bowl slurpers.
Yep. It's so good.
Yep. Martins for
breakfast. Oh.
Yeah. You better come either ready to have a lot of leftovers or barely be able to walk out.
Yeah. Just crawl out of there.
Chilaquiles are just.
The chilaquiles is insane. My uncle comes up and from Phoenix and see my cousin. He calls me up. He's like, Martins, I'll be there at 9:30. I'm like, yeah, we're going down.
Yeah, the one thing is you could say you'll be there at 9:30, but you might not get a table till like 10:30. That place gets packed. You gotta be ready.
That's a downtown episode. That's a downtown spot, and maybe. Yeah. But the one up.
Up by the Bashes, Duarte.
Up by the Bashes, Casa Duarte. Yeah, I was blanking on it. Casa Duarte is the same owner, same stuff, and that's a little bit of like the local hangout. Yeah, get some good tacos at nighttime.
Nice. Oh, how late are they open?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Google will tell us.
Because I live right next to there. I live up by there.
But they do the Tuesday tacos, and they're pretty good. And they have that salsa bar. It's just like pick your salsa.
Really?
It's pretty fantastic. Yeah,
I have still not been up there to that.
Yeah, check Casa Duarte, and you can even do it in the morning. I mean, now it's starting to get busy in the morning too. I went in, but if Martin's is slammed, you can try there. Yeah. So. Little plug for people that don't know that one yet. Yeah. But are you big in, books, favorite books? Do you ever gift any books? Are you a big reader?
I'm not so much like as far as like novels or like full reads are concerned, but I have a ton of books that are all usually guidebooks. Yeah. For either rock climbing or hiking. I have a huge stack in the last year or so, pardon me, on Grand Canyon books. Yeah. And so as far as, but I did just finish a really, really good book. I actually finished one. I have an issue finishing books too. I start them and then just
Something else grabs you. Yeah.
But I just finished Pure Land, which is a local author here in Flag, and the book is based on a murder that happens in Grand Canyon. Of course, Grand Canyon is an addiction for me. By the way.
Yeah.
And that'll kind of, that resonates in a lot of what I do, including my sunburn that I have. But Pure Land, awesome, great book about a murder that happened in Grand Canyon. That sounds terrible. I'm like, it's awesome about this murder.
This murder.
But she goes through and and she puts herself in the mix, her and then the girl that was murdered, and then the guy that was, the boy at the time that was accused of the murder, and intertwines their lives and talks about their background and really pulls together the cultures, because the girl that was murdered is from Japan. He is a Havasupai, like born and raised down in Havasupai, and then I think she was from Chicago and then came out here. But anyway, I definitely would plug that, especially since it's a local Flagstaff author.
Yeah,
and
good deal.
You grab Pure Land, and it's not just like an outdoorsy kind of book. It's a book about an event and cultures, and you learn about Japanese culture, and especially you learn a lot about the culture down there in the canyon, the Havasupai.
Nice.
And so
I've hiked Supai. It's
awesome
really down there. And you see those people and you're just like, wow, they live a different lifestyle.
Absolutely.
So it'd be fantastic to learn about them.
Yeah, because they've been through a lot.
Yeah.
You know, they started off being so isolated, and now, especially the last couple of years, just tourism and everyone coming down there, and them having to kind of either adapt or not willing to adapt, and it goes into all that kind of stuff, and it's mind blowing, at least to me, to see all those different cultural things, and to start to understand and therefore appreciate, and try to work towards an understanding of these cultures down there. So that's the latest book I just finished.
Nice. I'll have to check it out. I'm reading one of my clients did a book. It's called The White Witch. No, Kana's Quest. Sorry, Kana's Quest, and it's good. He's a fantasy writer, and he wrote it himself, and he's into. I think the 5-year anniversary is coming out on it right now, and he's 70% into his next book, and it's one of my past clients. And I was like, yeah, dude, I'll read it.
Nice.
Let me give you the Amazon referral and all that kind of good stuff, or review, and
Sweet. From Flagstaff.
From Flagstaff, yeah.
Nice. Local authors.
Yeah, local authors.
Great.
Shout out to you, Tony.
Tony.
What about any Netflix, HBO show? Are you big into that type of stuff? Do you have a favorite that you've been watching?
Yeah, it helps you relax or recover from adventures for sure.
Yeah.
I'd say a Netflix. Right now, I'm actually kind of looking for another one, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting for Peaky Blinders to come out with the next season. Which is supposed to be
awesome show.
Have you seen Peaky Blinders?
Oh yeah, like twice.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you started over. And it's Peaky Blinders is one of my favorite shows of all time.
Absolutely.
And so supposedly they're going to get the new season out in 2019. But
sweet.
Who knows?
I didn't know. I thought they were going to be done.
Yeah, I mean, that's that.
The
that was
Shelby
the word
Company, baby, bring it back. Yeah.
we did a beer called Peaky Blinders.
Did you?
Yeah. It was a traditional English bitter.
Yeah.
And so, just a shout out we do shout outs in our names, usually for music. Music is a huge influence on our names. We have tons of our names come from artists or songs.
Cool.
Usually punk rock or hip hop. But anyway, Peaky Blinders, that was my go-to for a long time.
That's a fantastic show.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Me and Samantha were into the Game of Thrones.
You said were or weren't?
We are.
You are. Oh no, I haven't seen a single. I saw half of an episode, and so not because I'm like against or anything. I just I don't HBO or something like that. I don't have that, but I'll do the whole binge thing on that probably in a couple of years.
Yeah, it will happen.
It's hard to sit here and listen to people talk. I'm the kind of person that'll plug my ears during trailers for movies. Because
I don't want to hear nothing.
No, me either. Mm-hmm. I would love my I don't know, not fantasy, but like my ideal situation, I guess, would be to walk into a theater to go see a movie and know nothing about it.
Yeah.
You know, like that's just,
and just get, I don't know. Just get rocked into the full experience.
You watch a trailer, I feel like I've seen the movie.
They tell you all the stuff that's coming.
I'm done. I'm good.
Mm-hmm. So I turn off my trailers. I love how you're saying this because Samantha will be like, you want to watch this movie or go to watch this movie? And cause we don't have regular TV. We just have HBO and Netflix. Yep. So I don't know stuff's coming out. I'll start watching it and within like the first 20 seconds, I can tell it's going to be a good movie or not. I'll stop the trailer right
Yeah.
there. Done. All right, cool. Now we're going, and that's all I want to know.
Yes. Good.
Yes.
Nice.
I'm right there with you. I totally do it all the time. She's like, I want to watch the whole thing. I'm like, no, we're going to the movies. We're going to see the whole thing, and I don't want to, know anything else about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you tell right off the bat. You're like, oh, yep, I want to see that, and then turn it off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Might not even be 20 seconds. It could be like 10
20 seconds is a long time. That's like a full trailer.
Yeah.
So first couple seconds.
Yeah. I'm like, yep, I'm going to watch this one. Let's go.
So even though it's going to be years, probably before I actually watch Game of Thrones, even now I'm like avoiding.
Yeah, avoid it. No, for sure.
It would make no sense to me.
Avoid it.
And I would probably forget
it.
it. But yeah, like everyone's
it's one of those
to talk
it's
about
Peaky, it's Peaky Blinders quality. It's one of the best ones out there.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm about. I'm like, I got a 5-year-old kid, dude. He just rages.
Yeah.
So we get like our hour, and I'm only gonna watch something that's good quality.
True.
It's got to be the best of the best, and that's what I got time for nowadays.
Killer, not filler.
Yes, exactly. Well, dude, Nick, this has been fantastic. I always love to wrap up my podcast with my final question is just like, what are you grateful for today?
Today I'm grateful definitely for the health I'm able to maintain. I know people say that a lot, grateful for your health, but to be able to to have that and go out and experience. We talked about how awesome Flagstaff is in the surrounding areas. To be able to do that, I'm always grateful for that. And my kick butt employees.
There you go.
Oh, my beer slingers are rock stars. They're like our family. So I'm super, super grateful. I mean, even right now, I have Donnie by himself bottling anniversary beers. Like, that's a lot of trust. I wouldn't have done that a long time ago.
Yeah.
So super grateful for my health and for my rock star employees.
Dude, that is awesome. All right, guys, signing off. Thanks for tuning in. Woohoo! Nick with Dark Sky Brewery. Hey guys, I want to keep it real with you. Thank you guys for listening to this week's podcast. If you could do us a huge favor and write us a review, it really helps out the channel. Samantha and I really, really do appreciate it. So go ahead and write us a review. Thank you so much. If you know anyone that I should be talking to, please do send them our way. We really appreciate it. See you guys for next week's episode. Until then, keep it real.